Good morning, everybody. So it's Dan Latto speaking. So we just thought we'd do something a little bit different this morning. We thought we'd go live on Facebook, we'd remove any filters that sort of, the thing that stops you from actually saying what you shouldn't say. We thought let's just remove some of those, and the way in which we do it is we go live before our coffee. And if you saw the thumbnail, by the way, that's me trying to be like Mikey from Monsters. Yeah, I'm a 45-year-old man and I've got a Mikey mug. That's just life. We can deal with it. So we thought let's just go live before we have coffee and before our filters kick in, and then you just get a bit more raw, unedited, unfiltered version of Dan, which could be quite interesting, frankly. And frankly as well, I need to be creating more content. And so there's this idea of building more content, and we know we should be building more content, but then the filter also kicks in there. There's that filter, and I have it too. And despite having 250,000 YouTube views, which I'm very proud of in the last couple of years, that's fabulous. And also despite having a similar number of podcast downloads, which I'm also very, very proud of, which we've been doing for, I think, 2.5 years. Even I get nervous going live, and I get nervous thinking up content and then thinking, oh no, I have to record it and who's watching it. But then I thought, let's just press record and go. I mean, it's not like we're pressing record because we're actually going live, but let's just go live and let's just see how it goes. And so we're going to try and do these pretty much every morning. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm in Cyprus on Thursday anyway. I fly to Cyprus Thursday and get there Thursday night. And I got a couple of days in Cyprus before I fly back on Monday. And we're going out to see a client to do some strategy and implementation work for their business, which is based in Cyprus and is a coaching business. And that's really cool. But really this morning, I wanted to talk to you about education. Because just as I was waiting for the kettle to boil, and I can't drink it yet, by the way, because it's too hot. So in here, I don't know, I don't think you can see it there. That is my cup of joe, and right there is one of those packet coffees. It's got 54 calories in, and I'm on a weight loss. But anyway, it's okay. I can cope with it. I've just come off a 2-day fast. But anyway, I was thinking about how does a person? Well, actually, I was thinking about the government. Okay, in the UK, and I was thinking about with the Windrush Scandal. I mean, the way that's all been done, the Tories literally had a policy to be not very nice people to other people and throw them out of the country. I was just thinking about that, and then I was thinking that no wonder people just give up. When you're on the bottom of society, and when you're on benefits and DSS, and you're really struggling just to make ends meet, what on earth do you do? Well, you can't rely on the government, because this is the government that'll just send people home, even though they've been here 55 years and are essentially British with children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren potentially, and they just send them home. It's just crazy. It's just this mentality that, like, who are we as a society if that's what we've come to, where the policy is to be as evil and as nasty as possible. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But then, if you rely on the government for anything, they're going to be evil and nasty as possible. But I have to also say that, a lot of people voted for this Tory government to come in. So what did you expect was going to happen? It just, it's like signing up for Facebook and then complaining that Facebook's privacy policy is shit. It's like you've got no qualms about complaining because you created this stuff in the first place. And just by the way, I didn't vote. I don't believe in voting. I believe in voting for yourself. And that's pretty much what we're going to talk about anyway. But, with Windrush, what did people expect was going to happen with this government in place? It's just one of the most, because there's been plenty, one of the most uncaring governments in history, I would suggest. And if you're unsure about that, just look at what's been going on with people on benefits and people with disabilities. Now all that's been removed, and it's crazy, right? It's just this crazy world. I did say the filter would be removed in these, didn't I? So there you go. But then I was thinking, okay, so how do you take somebody who's maybe on benefits and they want to work, and they filled in all the job applications and they've done the CV and they've gone on every training course that the government have supplied. And by the way, I have to say that any government course or any training course that the government supplied, how good do you think that's going to be in compared with some of the stuff that we do and some of the stuff that the government does? It's going to be crap, right? I've gone on some government courses. We had to do a parenting course because we were going through an issue with who's going to parent the kids. It wasn't an issue. Mum gets to parent them. It's never an issue because it always goes to mum. Forget about dad. That's just the way it works with government. But that is filtered, that bit, by the way. There's plenty more I could say about that, about Leeds City Council and their sexist social services, but I'm not gonna, because I'm not that unfiltered this morning. But anyway, so I did this parenting course. Oh my goodness me, it was the most simple, basic, you know, it's just crazy, right? So at what level do you think this training is going to be for these people who are trying to help themselves get out of this predicament that they're in, where they may be on benefits and no work, or maybe they're on 2 or 3 jobs and we're working 2 or 3 jobs trying to make ends meet, and prices are going up and rents are going up. The reason why rents are going up even more is because Section 24's come in, where landlords such as myself, we can't offset our interest on mortgage payments, unlike other businesses that can. 74 people, by the way, died over the Christmas period because they were homeless. 74 people died of cold in the UK throughout November through to January because of the cold. 74. That gives you an indication as to how much the government actually cares about our brethren, our brothers and sisters, our mums and dads, our sons and daughters. It's just crazy. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so how do you get somebody who's like struggling either financially, or they've not got their education levels in place to help them? So there's a couple of things that need to happen. The first thing that needs to happen is they have to have some form of belief, because without some form of belief, you know, what's going to happen there? Like, belief is where everything starts in the brain, like in the world, like from the brain to the world. Belief is, you know, if I wake up one morning and go, you know what, I'm going to go live in Spain in a villa. Like, that starts in there. It doesn't start process. But even before I get to the thought process, you have to have a belief system. But actually, is that possible? Is it doable? Maybe. And we didn't know at the time if it was doable or not. So, but unless you've got that belief system that it might be possible, one of the filters that we've got, you know, the meta model for NLP, we've got lots and lots of filters like memories, experience, values, attitudes, memories. We've got all sorts of stuff, right? So, but if one of those filters has kicked in and said, no, who are you thinking that you can do that, then we would never have done it. Now, take someone who's been told no all of their life, and that they're useless all of their life, and that they're but they're no good for anything. Like, what are their belief system going to be like? It's going to be dire. So one of the ways in which the government could help, and if you, by the way, if you're relying on the government, you've failed already. So let's not rely on the government. But if you're sat there listening, watching this, and you're like, well, how can I do it, Dan? One of the things that you need to be doing is having what we call little victories, okay? Little wins in your life. And by the way, if you're struggling to even put your underwear on because you're so depressed, putting your underwear on is a little victory, right? Because what you're doing with that is you're creating this little, well, that's my goal. I'm going to put my underwear on, and then bang, you've done it. Yes, get in. Now, by the way, I know that there's not a huge amount of people that are at that level, but there are definitely some. But for other people, it might be, okay, I'm going to send off 100 CVs this month. 100 CVs. Like, not, I'm going to get 100 responses. I'm just going to create 100 CVs and send them out. That is a little victory. Forget about the results, because the results are unimportant to some extent. It's the journey and it's the process of actually putting things in place, doing them, and then seeing what the results are. Now, if you then eventually get 100 no's, or like most people don't respond anyway, but let's just say that you don't get the result you want, that's fine. Maybe you need to go back in and you redo your CV and you add a better letter, maybe add a picture of yourself. Maybe the letter is more aligned to the position that you're going for each one. You know, we can tweak it as we go. We just had a client, and he's in his 50s and was sort of like, well, he needed to get another job basically, but he was like, well, who would give little old me a job? And he had loads of skills, loads of experience, loads, right? Absolutely tons. So we did work on his belief system. And then when we got his belief system up and running, he started sending stuff out. And he got job offer after job offer after job offer. can't see how good you are. I struggle with it. This is one of the reasons why we struggle going live and doing video kind of thing from time to time, because I'm like, oh, who would listen to little old me? And even if one person watches it all the way through and they get the maximum out of that and then goes and does something because of that one video, then that's the result. And our views are crazy. Sometimes we're really up and sometimes we're really down. Our views are really crazy. But it's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. What's relevant is the journey of creating content and shipping it out. Like the podcast stuff, you know, we are so, what's the word, inconsistent with our podcasts. And then I get in the mood for it, and then we do some podcasts, and then we do like, you know, 5 podcasts, and we're like, yeah, well, we're going to do this every single day. So we send them out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then that's it for like 3 weeks. It's crazy, right? What we should really do is record 5 and let's do 1 a week for the next 5 weeks, and then at least we can catch up that way. Do you know what I mean? But we don't do that. But getting that consistency, it's that belief system. That's really what it surrounds. Even for someone like me who's got a lot of videos and has got a lot of podcasts and spoken on stage in front of a couple of thousand people. And, you know, I still get nervous just going on YouTube Live. What if I say something wrong? Or what if someone disagrees? Oh, my gosh. So let me just grab a quick drink. So this is just how we go. This is just how we do things. This is just how we operate. You know, we gotta start creating these little victories so that when we start building little victories, we're starting to build confidence. So, you know, like you could set yourself little goals, like go meet 1 new person every week. Like that's a brilliant little goal. How would you go meet 1 new person every week? Well, there's networking events. You meet people in the supermarket. You meet people at the petrol station. I went through a process, it's going back quite some time ago now, maybe 10, 15 years, but I went through a process when I had my lettings agency just to speak to as many people as I could in random situations, in a supermarket checkout, literally at a petrol station, filling up with petrol. All right, mate, nice car. Oh, that tyre looks like it's wearing down a bit. Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I run a lettings agency, so let me know if you need anything. Like, crazy, right? Like, surely that doesn't work, Dan. Yeah. I remember once we were sat in a coffee shop in Leeds, and it was Costa Coffee, just off Park Row. And I've got 2 flats on Park Row, by the way, above the Royal Bank of Scotland, with 2 penthouses there these days, which I'm very proud of. But in this particular conversation, there's this girl, and she was sat with who I assumed was a dad, and she looked like a student, to be honest. So I was sat with one of my member of staff, and I had my business card, and what they were doing, they were looking at a sheet of paper, and on that sheet of paper was like a list of properties. It was a lettings list of properties that were available. Bear in mind, this is 10, 15 years ago, before the internet was like really prevalent, you know, before mobile devices, before we had iPhones and that kind of thing. But anyway, so I saw that she was looking at this, and I went up to her and I went, look, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but it looks like you're looking at a lettings list. Yeah, well, I run a lettings agency and we might have something available for you anyway. And she went, oh, okay. So I said, hey, look, here's my card. Why don't you take a look online? And then if you need anything, just give me a call. And she took the card and she looked at the name and she went, oh, it's you guys. Yeah, I'm off to see you guys. I've got viewings with you guys tomorrow. I was like, yes, how cool is that? So we were just sat in a coffee shop, random, you know, just random stuff. But if that was me going up. Now, if she hadn't have already booked a viewing, there's a good chance she would have booked a viewing. We might have rented something to her. But that's just like, you know, the more you put yourself out there and speak to as many people as you can, the more stuff you're going to get back. The more videos that we do on YouTube Live, I almost called it Facebook then, the more videos that we do, the more content that we have, the more content that we embed into our website, and the more content that off our website that gets spewed out to Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and Pinterest and Instagram and all these other things where our content goes. That's one of the reasons why we do it, is because it's about creating as much content as we can. So let's just go back to little victories then, because when you start building up these little victories, then you can start building up to a bigger victory. And what happens is that you slowly but surely start to get a belief in mindset. You start to get a belief system change. And when you start changing those belief systems, your actions also change, because now you've got a greater belief system that you can take bigger actions and start getting bigger results. And it's just like this snowball effect. I've just come from a billionaire boot camp in Santorini in Greece, which is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. with Chris Howard. And one of the things that Chris was talking about, and I think it was a Warren Buffett saying, and it was really wet snow and like a long runway, effectively, where you get the snowball and you make a snowball and then you roll it and then you start pushing it and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what investing is. You start small and then over a really long period of time, that's when the results come in. That's what happened with me with property. That's what happens with you with belief system. You start with a really small one and then you roll it down the snow hill. And as you're rolling it down, it's starting to get more and more beliefs attached to it about who you are. And this belief system just starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this big snowball turns into a giant snowman, right? That's your belief system as you keep going down the journey of life. Okay, so this is why we need to be implementing these tiny little belief systems. But then what happens after the belief system? Well, education is where it's at. Like, I've not got any books on my desk, but next to my bed, for example, there's 5 different books. And, we're trying to get through them as quick as we can, to read and get through the content as much as possible. And one of the things that I noticed and realized when I speak to other people, when I speak to normal people, because I don't see myself as being normal these days. Abnormal or weird or strange is probably the box that I fit into. But when I speak to other people and you're like, they're stuck on a problem and you go, why don't you just do this? Or why don't you just do that? It's obvious. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. How do you know that? And it's like, well, it's obvious. Just do this, just do that. Why don't you do this and do this, do this, do this? And then that'll happen and then you can do that. And then they do it and they're like, that's amazing. And it's like, well, it's just, I'm well read. That's one of the reasons why. And because I'm well read, I then take some of that content and then I implement it into my own businesses and then we get results. Right? It's really simple. But the reason why we can implement some of that stuff is because we read about it somewhere, or we watched a video about it, or we listened to a podcast about it, or, I mean, that's it. There's only 3 ways of taking in content, and there's only 3 ways of sending out content: video, audio, and reading. Until someone gives us like in the Matrix, a USB thing to plug into the back of the head to learn Kung Fu. They're the only 3 ways that we can actually learn, and there's only 3 ways for you to actually get your content out. That's why you've got to be sending out a lot of content. But the education level, for reading books, for listening to podcasts, for watching videos, I'm constantly doing it. I don't think there's a day that goes past when I'm not looking at something to do with content, right? Like, I'm not learning in some way about how to improve what I already do. It could be from a health and fitness point of view, because we lost 2.5 inches off the tummy in the last 6 weeks and 2.5 kilos, which I'm very happy about, very proud of. Still got a bit of way to go. But we would watch videos about fasting, for example. We just did it was a 39-hour fast, which we finished yesterday. We ate yesterday lunchtime, we ate last night, and then we're into fasting again from last night to this morning. And we're probably not going to eat today, in all honesty, and we'll go through till tomorrow morning. But like, where do you get all that information from? Well, surely fasting is dangerous and all that stuff, and it's totally not. You've got to do it right. Where do you get the information from? Books, videos, audios, or Facebook groups is a great one to go on to. Facebook groups, because there's all sorts of people having their own experiences, and you can learn from other people's experiences. How powerful is that? That's the whole point of books, audio, and video in the first place, right? But getting that education, first of all, you've got to build the belief system, because unless you get the belief system, the education is unimportant. But, do you know people, for example, who do really well but are as thick as shit? Of course you do. And then do you know other people who are ultra intelligent? One of the homeless people that died, by the way, is a quantum physicist, right? And passed away because he was homeless. So do we know people that are really, really intelligent but lack the belief system, or have a referential memory experience, as we call it, that taught them that they're no good, and therefore they then believe that, and that's why they're homeless? Absolutely, that's what happens. So you've got to get the belief system, and then you've got to start getting the education, because taking action after belief is great, but it's also dangerous. Taking action after you've read what action to take and you've got the belief system, that's exactly where you need to be. So we've got for 20 minutes there. That will do us for today. I will finish my coffee. It should be cooled down now, hopefully. But that's where we're up to today. I hope that's useful. We'll see how it goes tomorrow, see what's in the headlines, and maybe we'll just come back and talk again. If you liked it, then let me know. Just give me a thumbs up. Dan Latter, and we will speak to you on the next one. Take care.